Her level of self-awareness is simply amazing. Hi, I'm Shallalla. I'm a creativity coach who specializes in working with singers, and a few weeks ago I analyzed a Lady Gaga interview for you, and I got so many requests to look at the Chromatica interview with Zane Lowe that I just have to do it. Thank you so much for your interest and for your likes and your comments and your subscriptions. It's really a very, very special thing for me. Now, this interview is an hour long, and there is no way that my brain could handle analyzing that in one sitting. So for today, I thought I'm going to look at the first 10 minutes or so. And if you want me to analyze more of it, well, let's talk about that at the end of the video, because right now I really want to start. So here we go.
First of all, it would be kind of strange.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, you too. You too.
Like, really, it's so nice to see you. I love you, Zane. Like, I'm happy that we're doing this, and I think music's powerful, and I know you feel that way, and I'm just super excited to talk to you.
Oh, me too. I've been waiting for this moment because, you know, I think the world wants to hear this album. I think the delay only increased the anticipation, and I know that wasn't by design, but it's funny how life works that way. And also because I haven't done anything like this yet. And this feels like a kind of new frontier in terms of this, because we've been doing it via FaceTime the whole time. But it just feels like this is like a major step forward for some reason. I don't know why. It must feel kind of nice just to go into the studio and actually be doing something resembling work. You know what I mean?
It's a super interesting time. It's been a very...
I really love that she chooses to say interesting times, because a lot of people say hard times, difficult or trying times, and all of them are correct, no doubt about that. But if you say something is hard, then your mind goes into the hard, tough setting. And if you say something is interesting, that carries with it also some positive things, like curiosity or something like a riddle.
Very difficult time for a lot of people, and we stopped the drop of the record and everything that we were doing because I really wanted to be more specific at one point. I wanted to do something to help the world that was very focused, and working with the World Health Organization and Global Citizen was a way for me to talk about kindness and the things that I believe in a very focused way, as opposed to a more abstract way, which for me is what Chromatica is. It's this beautiful abstraction of my perception of the world. And I just wanted to wait for a second and do something specific. And then when it felt appropriate, I was like, okay, we can get abstract.
What's fun?
So if I understood that correctly, she stopped working on the album and went to do some work with WHO because it was a priority to help people, and not just to help them as in enriching their lives through her main meaning-making device, her music, but through something more specific, as she puts it, less abstract. So she adjusted the way she makes meaning to the state of the world, the state that the world is in right now. And I think this deserves to be mentioned because it is not easy to let go of the thing that matters most to you and the thing that helps you to matter most. Obviously, she's not the only artist who does that, who made that choice. And I really admire each and every one of them. I'm running through my head and trying to figure out how far down I want to go the meaning-making hole. So let's go all in. A meaningful life is made through establishing meaning, the meaning that you consciously or subconsciously articulated in your life plan and your meaning mix. Part of her meaning mix is helping people, even if that means stopping to work on an album. Either she reorganized her priorities, or that priority of helping people ranks higher than her music. I can't really discern that from the few sentences I've heard here.
Well, it's funny as well because it feels weird to be promoting anything, and it just feels like it should be a selfless time, and we should all be outward looking and not inward looking, and find a way to kind of be more connected to people as a whole. And I feel that that is very much the statement you made too.
I do.
Yeah, thank you, Zane. That is exactly what I meant, but I am talking about it from my perspective, or my profession's perspective, which is through the meaning lens. And if I may say that, it's great that she and other artists do that. Let go of the main focus and towards and like reorient towards helping in a different capacity. And it is equally okay if you're not able to do that. It's okay if you're clinging to your main meaning vessel, because times are tough. And the last thing that the world needs right now is another person whose life lost its meaning, you know? By the way, I made a video about making meaning. If you want to dive deeper into that, if you're struggling, that's the place to start.
I think it's important to look inside at all times as well. You know, self-care and taking care of your, mental health, I think helps you to take care of other people.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's funny because we so often think that self-care is something selfish or aloof or something, but it is actually something very practical. Self-care can be done in order to do something altruistic. Do you know what I mean? You need to take care of yourself if you want to be able to take care of others.
For sure.
And actually, like, I'm not really promoting. I view this conversation as something that I would want to do anyway. I mean, you know how I feel about your perception of music and how it affects people in the world. What I think is most effective right now, for what it's worth, is simple messaging that is either kind in nature or thought-provoking in nature, that speaks to where we are as a society and as a culture, where, I really believe that we're operating within a very rudimentary system. And in the Stupid Love video, red and blue are fighting. Could decidedly, if you wish it to be, a political commentary, and it's very divisive. The way that I see the world is that we are divided, and that it creates for a very tense environment that is very extremist, and it's part of my vision of Chromatica, which is to say that this is not dystopian and it's not utopian. This is just how I make sense of things, is Chromatica.
I think this is at the heart of what every artist wants, to find a way to make sense of the world and to be able to share that with others.
And I wish for that to be a message that I can translate to other people.
It is a world, though. I mean, like you say, it kind of straddles both sides, and it stands.
Yeah, it's I love that, actually. It's a translation. So her music is a translation of the way that she looks at the world. And through this translation, she lets other people in. I really love that word, translation, in that sense.
It's in the middle, and it's observant. Like, Chromatica is an observation.
Yep.
But I feel like with the video, and when you're drawn into the world, your world, but it's also a very it's like a sharing experience as well as a caring experience for you. It's both. And I wonder, what you're hoping we get out of that, because we're going to talk about what you've gotten out of it. But what do you want people to get out of listening to this album right now?
I wish to go on a journey that I've been on with the world before, which is when I know that I've opened my own creative portal to the other realm and made music out of my own personal experiences that is also related to how much I love people and love the world and what I want them to feel and experience. I was just talking to my friends and I was saying, I can't wait to dance with people to this music. I can't wait to just go into any space with a whole bunch of people and blast this as loud as possible to show them how much I love them. And until then, I hope that they listen to this record and go on not only my personal journey with me and dance through all the pain, but also go through their own journey and dance through all their pain. And maybe there will be some arc within that sign that aligns us both. And so from afar, how can we connect?
It seems to me that she's actually making the soundtrack, making the music that she needs to dance through the pain, as she puts it. That kind of makes her music not the goal, but a means to an end. I think this is quite fascinating. I have to think a little bit more about that.
You've danced before, and in fact, you made the world dance when you first came out and started to release music officially. And we've talked about this and how important, putting Four on the Floor back on radio, and how it felt like people used to come to your early tours and dance, and it was a release. And I felt like until Chromatica and since Art Pop, you haven't been dancing. I'm sure you have, but it hasn't felt like you have with us. And I wonder why that was.
I don't know that I was dancing in my brain, in my heart, in my spirit. I think I felt very turned around in life. And I'm always remiss to talk about like my personal experience with fame or my personal experience with being an artist that's by proxy, because of pop culture, also a celebrity, right? But the truth is, I think that I was trying to make sense of my humanity within a system that is the music industry that decidedly is also objectifying. I mean, that objectification makes me feel like a robot, and that you start to act like one. And once you start to act like that robot, you lose a sense of your humanity. And through writing this album, I would be so sad, and then I would hear myself.
Okay, I have Julia Cameron running through my head. I don't know if you know her book, The Artist's Way. It is hugely influential. Its tagline is a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. And in it, there are 2 points that I want to make. First, let's talk about fame. Julia Cameron calls fame a spiritual drug, a byproduct of our creative work, and she compares it to nuclear waste, so saying that it is a really dangerous byproduct. And what Gaga just said, this byproduct is by now, in our times, it is built in. You can't escape it. It's a deal. She says she wants to connect with people, to reach people, and the higher the number of people she reaches, the higher the amount of this byproduct, fame. And the other thing that I want to say is, in that same book, The Artist's Way, it's structured in 12 chapters, and you work through one chapter per week. Each week looks at a different aspect of being a creative person, and its goal is actually, as always in my opinion, to make you more whole on a human level, wholer, if that's a word. Because yes, in the end, it comes down to being a human first, and an artist second.
Sound happy in a song, and I'd go, wait a second, this is completely incongruent, and yet it came from me. So how did that just happen?
Which is so funny, because it's often the subconscious goes the other way in the artistic spirit. Often you're feeling happy on the outside, surface distractions, all the things you've built for yourself, this world you created that tells you you're happy and safe and successful. And the music that's coming out is subconsciously sad and depressed. It's very rare that I've spoken to an artist at your level that was having a subconscious, joyful experience, or striving at least to find joy.
Zane is amazing. He's I don't have to say anything because he just said it. It's remarkable.
Subconsciously, and not forcing it.
You're dead on. I was subconsciously experiencing joy, and what I've learned about the brain is that while that's happening, if you have extensive trauma or any mental issues like the ones that I have, your unconscious, as you are becoming joyful, goes, no, stop what you're doing, come back to me, I am your sadness. If you become happy, you are unsafe.
I have to mention another book here. Have you heard of Joe Dispenza? He talks about exactly this issue that Gaga mentions here. Your mind is pulling you into a direction that you actually don't want to go. More than that, you're actually fighting against that and fighting hard to escape it. And as you reach that glimpse of happiness, it pulls you back and says, hey, stop. This is who you are. You are a sad person, and I want you to experience being sad. You can't run off and be happy. And Dispenza, actually, he teaches a way to break this pattern, and he's a scientist, so there's nothing that you have to believe in. It's a proven process. The book you might want to check out is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That's it.
And this goes back to this idea of objectification where, it's like one of these weird things, Zane. Like, I really do understand why people go, like, it's so annoying when artists complain about being mobbed at the grocery store, right? But I am also, like, just a person. And what happened, I think, with me and this album is on a subconscious level, I was experiencing joy, while consciously I was experiencing an immense amount of depression as a result of this objectification, a lack of feeling like a human. And then unconsciously, my body was like, stop, like, you're making a mistake. If you don't brace yourself.
Her level of self-awareness is simply amazing, and the fact that she can lay out her issues and the processes like this, it's also a testimony to how brave she is, because it needs a lot of courage to look at yourself in this depth. I'm impressed. She'd be kind of like a dream client for me because. Things get really hard for a coach when a client is afraid to look at themselves.
You will get hurt because I've developed a fear of the public, but not a fear of people. I love people. So this album is about like how did I get back to people, and how do I connect with people and go like, hey, I'm over here. I'm a person. I'm an artist. Like. I'm not a celebrity. Whatever this thing is, this celebrity thing, it's like I wish to eradicate its existence.
And that's an amazing observation, because I think a lot of the reason why we as fans get confused about the trade, because the trade is, you want this.
No. This is not what a creative person wants. What an artist wants at the core is to be able to share the work that they made. And as I said before, fame is a byproduct. In my experience, creative people, like real artists, artists from the heart, who can't live without making whatever form of art they make, they are not in it for the fame. I am I'm not denying that like a certain level of fame is flattering, but it's not the reason why artists make art. If you took away the fame, the status of being a celebrity, they would continue to do art.
You've put so much effort and so much attention and so much hyper-focus into driving your narrative into a place where you become successful, because what you really dream for and you focus on, you get.
Yeah, I said it before. Unfortunately, there is this connection between success and fame. It's an unfortunate connection for sure.
And then we take your narrative away and we tell you this is what you wanted, this is what you asked for.
Yeah, because when you were a little girl and you were good at piano and writing songs, you decided you were going to trade your talent with the world in exchange for us telling you who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. This notion, it's so ingrained in some people's mind that sarcasm is the only way to deal with it. She got that right. Let me stop here before they get into the next topic, whatever that might be. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I am more than willing to look at the rest of this interview, now even more so, because it is so rich and insightful. So if you want that as well, leave a like. Because I was thinking to produce another of these when I see that there is interest for it. If you have a question, put it in the comments as well, because I really love this kind of 1 minute, 2 sentences coaching. It's been great the last couple of days with you guys. Above all, I hope that my observations are of value to you. They are helpful. Of course, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel for more information like this, and feel free to share it with someone who might need it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.